Hi there, I'm Tom Field. I'm Senior Vice President of Editorial with Information Security Media Group, talking to you from iSMG's Southwest Security Summit in Phoenix. Delightful to be talking about the cybersecurity poverty line. I'm talking with Mike Storm, Distinguished Engineer with Cisco. Mike, it's a pleasure to finally get a chance to speak with you live in person.
Absolutely, you too, Tom. Thank you.
So talk to me about the cybersecurity poverty line. We hear about it. What is it to you?
Any company, entity, nonprofit that doesn't have the budget, the skills, or just the means of delivering the type of cybersecurity that's necessary to keep them safe. We see, for instance, a lot of nonprofits, they have their cybersecurity donated, which means it could be years old, and we know how fast threats evolve, and it's difficult to keep up.
Not just a financial issue, though, is it?
Not at all. Not at all. Yeah, it's definitely a technology issue. It's a knowledge issue a lot of times because not everybody understands how vulnerable they are, and not everyone understands that small company data is just as valuable as data from very large organizations, whether they be healthcare or financials, etc.
Now, it's one thing to talk about this sort of theoretically, but how real does the poverty line become for organizations that are breached?
Well, the poverty line affects tens of thousands of organizations, and when we think of the statistics, 60% of small businesses that do experience a data breach actually fail in the ensuing 6 months. That's how much it costs, and that could be due to regulatory, could be due to loss, data loss, could be due to reputation loss, it could be anything, but 60% of those businesses fail in 6 months after the breach.
Talk to me about how Cisco is helping organizations respond and one, acknowledge, and two, get above the poverty line.
Yeah, I think getting above the poverty line is probably based on interpretation, right? So not only does Cisco invest a lot in giving to these organizations, hundreds of millions of dollars a year, Cisco provides access to and technology and so forth to organizations like this. But I think another way of delivering on this is to also address what's at the poverty line by making cybersecurity a default that's accessible to everyone. And doing so in an embedded fashion which covers every connection, and doing so in a way that doesn't require that you have your own investment in cybersecurity tools, but you just benefit from the massive scale that we have today in the cloud and on the internet.
So, question, how do we get there?
Well, we're going to learn today. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of our new innovations, and it's something that we've been working on for a number of years. And I do believe that it is going to revolutionize the way that just the average person thinks of and takes advantage of cybersecurity in their daily lives.
Now, I know you work with lots of organizations, you deal with these issues all the time. Bottom line, how do you help customers to be able to improve detection and response? Because that's where they need the help.
Yeah, and I think one of the great things about this innovation is if you're a medium to large organization and enterprise that has your own tools, you certainly want to have access to see that data, to triage it, to potentially stop it and detect, respond, so to speak. But I think it's also really important that, due to the way that we're able to do mass scale cloud detections now, we're plugged in so many areas worldwide in trusted countries and non-trusted countries. It allows us to be able to detect and mitigate many of these threats before they even reach the businesses, just because of that capability of embedded security. So I think that's really going to be the biggest benefit. Imagine if you're getting 1,000 attacks a day on average, and suddenly through embedded cybersecurity you're down to 10. Wouldn't that be amazing that you only ever have to deal with 10, and most of those will come from your local user population anyway?
And they call that a game changer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mike, this interview is going to be seen by organizations all over the world, different sectors, different sizes. My question for you, what are the questions organizations really need to be asking themselves today to determine where they are above, below, at the cybersecurity poverty line?
It's a tricky one, right? The questions, they probably vary by industry in many cases. Obviously government, federal government, DoD is going to be completely different. And we have plans for that as well, because that's so critical to everything. I really believe that organizations have to look at all aspects of their digital profile. Many organizations fall into the trap that they can do everything with just a box. And I think the day of using boxes to defend you is long gone, because our workloads no longer exist in predictable places. And so being able to look at your endpoint, being able to look at your cloud connectivity, your app development, I mean, all these things are really important. Having visibility, can you see everything in one place? What's your level of integration? I mean, how many tools do you have to bounce around between to either get visibility or to respond? And I think also most organizations are looking to simplify. And simplification, you kind of have to ask yourself, how far can we simplify with what we've invested in already? And are we able to, to truly do so, using a means that's going to drive an outcome and give us the visibility that we require through integrations and so forth to make a difference. And any company managing their own cybersecurity knows how complex that can be. Most organizations still have anywhere from 20 to 50 different tools. And believe me, from Cisco point of view, we know they're not all Cisco. And so being able to integrate all options, every third-party ISV into this new system is really important to us as well.
Mike, terrific insight. Thanks so much for your time today.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, Tom.
Again, the topic has been the cybersecurity poverty line. You've just heard from Mike Storm, distinguished engineer with Cisco for Information Security Media Group. I'm Tom Field. Thank you for giving us your time and attention today.